Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man's Corner Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'll be reacting to yet another Chilling Scares video. And this one I'll be reacting to is 8 Most Disturbing Things Discovered in Basements. From that title alone, it already sounds scary. So I'm going to turn these lights back off, move the camera back up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag. All right, here we go.
This first discovery happened to multiple students of Ohio State University back in September of 2013. The group of students only recently started leasing an off-campus house close to the school.
Right.
And it was in this house where they would make a disturbing find in the basement. Only a month after moving in, the students would start to notice small yet strange occurrences in the house. Things like cupboards, their oven, and even their microwave being left open. The house was 3 stories, with 5 students on the first floor and 10 others on the second and third. So obviously it was difficult to keep track of everyone. But when they realized none of them were responsible, they decided to search the house, more specifically the basement. What they found was a locked door, which they had originally assumed was a utility closet that the landlord wanted to be kept locked. Though at no point in time was this confirmed, and after calling the landlord about it, they were informed this wasn't the case. The door should not have been locked for any reason. The landlord would end up sending a maintenance worker to check it out, and after breaking down the door, a room that was clearly being lived in was revealed. The room had framed photos and school textbooks scattered around. The students would change all the locks that night and leave a note for whoever was living in the room saying to call them. The man would actually end up calling the number and later be removed from the household. It turns out the guy was a cousin to one of the house's previous residents, which is how he got a key in the first place. One of the students even recalled running into the man in the basement at one point earlier in the month and asking who he was, but only to be met with a very vague answer. Ultimately, the students would blame the leasing company of the home for the incident, as they were responsible for failing to change the locks from the year before.
Absolutely. Be like, your cousin's not living here anymore, dude, so why are you staying here? I mean, you should have turned in the key to the people that are leasing this place out already, and also the landlords. Yes, they should have changed the locks. When somebody's already left, change the locks so the previous person won't come back. Bingo, problem solved, no squatters.
In June of 2020, a man named Christopher Town would make a life-threatening discovery while helping his friend move furniture in his basement. Unknown to both of them at the time was the fact that the house itself was built over a well. And so at one point, when Christopher was making his way across the room, the floorboards just underneath him would snap, which caused him to fall to 25-foot drop to the bottom.
Oh!
Fortunately, there was water at the bottom to break his fall, though this meant Christopher would have to use the rocks on the wall to hold his head above the water while he waited for the local fire department to arrive. And to make things worse, the water itself was at an extremely low temperature. Though, after only a few minutes, the fire department was able to successfully get Christopher out using a hauling system. And other than almost getting hypothermia, Christopher would make it out unhurt.
Now, who in their right mind is going to build a house over a well? I mean, really. If there's a well there, build like around it. Don't cover the whole thing. Or build a smaller house and then like cover the well up with a shed building or something. I don't know. But yeah, that is unacceptable right there. I mean, the person who owns the house now should have known about it from the previous owner, if there was a well there or not.
Mike Carroll was a man who lived in a small house in Lake Grove, New York, which was the same house he had grown up in. Mike was 57 at the time, and only a few months prior had purchased the house. Though, while he was in the basement, Mike would make a disturbing discovery. He would find a full set of human bones buried under some dirt. But what makes this find so disturbing is the fact that the bones matched the DNA of his father. When Mike was only 8 months old, his father was said to have gone missing, and throughout his childhood, he would question his mother about this. But each time he was given a different story. So, of course, this made Mike want to find out for himself what had really happened to his father, which is what gave him motivation to buy his childhood house in the first place. The newly found bones would obviously cause blame for the disappearance to be shifted onto his mother, though she had unfortunately passed away 20 years prior. So, there's no way of confirming if she was responsible or not. and therefore what really happened will forever be unknown.
Me personally, I would pin it on her because if she's coming up with different stories on explaining why his dad is not there, then I'll call out on it. But why would she kill the husband? I mean, he was a good father to the kids, unless she got jealous or something. Who knows? But then, like you said, we'll never know because she passed away before the son bought that old house of his and found the remains of his dad. That would be creepy. Jeez.
In January of 2016, an appliance repairman was responding to a call from house owner Charles Price. Though, while the repairman was working in the basement, he would claim to have noticed something moving in a covered container in a back corner. Curious, the repairman would lift off the cover and be met by a 200-pound alligator. But before running, the repairman would capture multiple pictures for proof to show the police. It turns out the house owner had the alligator for more than 20 years and was supposedly using it to help him with the house's mouse infestation. He would illegally keep the creature in a cage in his basement and claimed to occasionally take him out into his backyard. Shortly after the repairman made the report, the alligator was confiscated by local animal control and later released into a better environment.
An alligator? Dude, what is with you? These are reptiles that belong in the swamp or at a zoo. I mean, they don't belong in nobody's houses as pets.
This discovery was posted to Reddit by an account under the name Daily Dish. In the post, the Redditor explains how a few years ago they shared a house with some friends, and in the first few months of living in the house, they hadn't spent much time in the basement. The basement was half finished, with the other half being a sort of dirt crawl space that extended under the porch of the house. They went on to explain how one night they decided to explore more thoroughly, and after grabbing a flashlight, they discovered a black canvas duffel bag in the very back of the dirt crawl space. Disturbingly, in the duffel bag were 2 black ski masks, a hunting knife, and a single black leather glove. The Redditor went on to explain how they decided to call the non-emergency police number and report the discovery, though the police weren't interested, and therefore the house owners decided to set fire to everything but the hunting knife. Whether that bag had any relation to any sort of criminal activity is still unknown to this day.
Why did you do that? Like you said, it could have had some involvement in a criminal activity, and you call the non-emergency line. Me personally, I would do that, or I would call the regular 911 emergency line and be like, this is not a huge emergency, but we found some stuff in our basement that looks criminally linked. And then, it go into detail and stuff, explaining what you got, and see if they're interested in looking at it. And if the cops say, yes, we'll take it, give it to them. Don't burn the stuff and keep the knife as like a trophy. You never know what this blade was used for. Robbery, murder, kidnapping, all of the above. You never know.
This next discovery comes from a guy who moved into a studio apartment in England. The guy claimed to have moved into the apartment without even viewing the place, and on arrival he would discover something pretty disturbing.
So here's the apartment I moved into last week.
Right.
It's pretty small, pretty nice. Rent was pretty cheap, so I moved in without even viewing the place.
Why would you even rent the place without even viewing it? That's what I'll be doing. I want to make sure I'm not only getting a good deal, but make sure there ain't no, suspicious activity or creepy stuff in there before I move in.
And then when I got here, I realized why the rent was so cheap.
The guy then goes on to give a tour of the apartment, and after a while, this sort of trapdoor on the floor can be seen.
Got a bathroom, pretty standard. And then we look down here. What's this? It's definitely a handle. So I figured, a bit of underfloor storage. So let's lift this up.
What the?
That looks like it goes down pretty deep.
Featured directly under this guy's apartment is some sort of dungeon-looking basement.
And the steps into the dungeon. We can see a corridor going off straight to the front. We draw some graffiti on the wall. Down here, this place is strange. There's like a brick seat or bed.
Don't tell me that place was used for a sauna, but nah, that wouldn't make no sense either. A sauna would have wood paneling. But yeah, that is strange.
Compared to the rest of the apartment, the area itself is pretty big, featuring many large rooms and corridors. What exactly this area was used for is unclear.
No, I don't even want to know what that place was used for.
Way back in 2002, a homeowner in Jefferson County, Wisconsin, found out that the foundation of her house was deteriorating. And so in November, she would apply for a loan to repair the foundation. But around 2 weeks later, while away at work, she would get a call from the workers hired to do the repair, explaining how they came across a gruesome discovery. They explained that as they started to remove the soil from the foundation wall in her basement, they had unearthed the full skeletal remains of a body. The skeleton was determined to be that of a 50-year-old male. Most disturbingly, though, is the fact that after further inspection, it was determined that the house had been built right on top of an ancient burial ground that's estimated to be up to 170 years old. Experts believe that in all likelihood, hundreds more skeletons are within a close proximity to the one found. This discovery would ultimately put a stop to the house's renovation altogether.
That is why you see it in movies, TV shows, but also in real life. I hate that people want to just go in there and build over top of these old cemeteries that don't have no markers or anything, and then all of a sudden, when you start to do renovations and stuff, this might happen. Woo! I'm not surprised the house ain't even haunted, but woo! Yeah, that would definitely make my blood run cold just seeing this right here. Man, that is spooky.
In January of 2010, Wally and Linda DeForest would move into their new home in Goshen, Indiana. Though only a week after moving in, the couple would discover a live torpedo in their basement, something they obviously weren't aware of beforehand. Both of them noted how old the thing looked, but still obviously active. There had been no drill holes to indicate it had been disarmed. The couple would end up calling the police, who would send out a bomb squad to extract the torpedo from the property's basement. And luckily they were able to remove it without incident. But considering the squad did confirm the explosive was still active upon arrival, the whole situation just makes you think how much worse things could have really gone.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it being a lot worse, because imagine you just like touched it with your foot by accidentally kicking, and that thing just like gets shaky on the inside, or whatever mechanics are in there to make that thing go off. Oh lordy. Whew. Yeah, you did the right thing calling the police, and they send the bomb squad down there to extract that sucker. But where was it at in the basement? I mean, unless it was buried under a bunch of concrete or something, but that would be dangerous for sure. Putting a lot of weight on top of it, and then you never know, boom, blow a hole in the wall or something. But anyway, that's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and let me know down in the comments if you found anything disturbing in your basements. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more chill and scares content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I say that's a wrap, and have a nice day.